This screencast will look at the connections assessment aspect, looking at the difference between simple connections and complex connections. Pause the screencast and read this information. First of all, we're going to look at simple connections. So there's the list of what we're saying is simple. I'm going to use the question, explain the similarities and differences of key beliefs between Christians and other religions. And here is my answer. Here's my simple answer. So I've given 3 short reasons. They might be a little bit inaccurate because actually the third one says that Christians go to church on a Sunday. Actually, not all Christians do go to church on a Sunday, so that's inaccurate. It generalises for all, so it's saying that all Muslims, all Christians, all Jews believe these things, and in some cases that isn't exactly true. There's lots of ideas. It's a little bit like a list that lacks detail. There are some connectives in there. We've got the and the but, so we have got connectives, but not a lot. If any of your similarities or differences that you give in your work are actually wrong, you will not get a tick in the simple box. They might be slightly inaccurate, but if they are wrong, they are wrong. Let's now compare that to complex connections. So here's our list of complex connections. I'm going to go through these very quickly one by one. Now actually I've taken one aspect of my answer about the Son of God and Christian beliefs rather than looking all of the 3 from before. And I've written a complex answer based on Christianity, Islam and 2 types of Judaism. Pause the screencast now and read through it. So an important part of connections is using key concepts, beliefs and teachings. This is really important because this is the core of our assessment, that we know, we understand the religions that we're talking about. So we're looking at this one aspect about Jesus being the Son of God, and here's my answer. I've highlighted in red where I've put key beliefs, teachings from each of the religions. So at the top in the first paragraph we've got about Jesus and God talking to him and baptism. In the second paragraph for Islam, we're talking about prophets and messengers and Isa, the Arabic equivalent of Jesus. And then in the third paragraph for Judaism, talking about religious teachings in Judaism. Next, we look at why religions believe things rather than just what. So we've got the reasons why. In most cases, it's linked to the holy text in this case. So for Christians, the Bible, Muslims, the Quran, and Jews, one of their texts, the Talmud. It's important you can say how far they're similar or different. It's easy to say they're all the same or they're all different, but it doesn't work like this. For example, in the 4th paragraph, there is a small group of Jews that are actually different. So actually they are a little bit different, even though you think that they might be the same. This links into a really important point, which is another assessment criteria in views and interpretations, that actually within religions there are different interpretations. You should possibly use the word some, or in this case most, to explain how there might be different beliefs. In this case, the majority of Jews do not believe that Jesus is the Son of God. However, there is a small group that do. So make sure that you don't overgeneralize. A really important part of your writing, no matter what you're writing about, is using developed reasons, which is another one of our assessment criteria. Developing reasons can be either using examples, evidence, quotes. Making your reasons less simple, turn them into complex reasons. In red, I've got some quotes up top from the Bible and quotes from the Talmud, and also I've got some statistics down here, which is evidence to back things up. When you're comparing similarities and differences, you should be using connectives. The same with simple connections. However, I've got several here, beginning my sentences with however on the other hand. There are many different connectives that you can use. Try using different ones. Using religious keywords is another really important part to show that you know what you're talking about. In red are some of the keywords for each of the religions. Have a look through them. So finally, it's really clear here that this answer goes into depth about one of those points that the original simple connections had as a very small point. I've been able to develop it using all of the complex ideas. So complex connections goes in depth with one particular point rather than long lists of lots of different points.